Hey, this is a quick demo, just going to go over how users who clone your repository with GitCAD installed, what their process looks like for getting themselves set up with GitCAD, working with all their FreeCAD file, with your repository. So I have over here a test repository, well, kind of a test repository, and in it, I have actually recently gone ahead and converted this repository from not using FreeCAD file, or for not using GitCAD to using GitCAD. So all that's left, if I go to this repository over here, it's clear and I have GitCAD installed. I just have to push those changes up to main. Of course, with a diverging history, I'm going to have to force push it. But yeah, so git push force origin main. There you go. Oh, I need to lock. Let's just go. And okay, there we go. Git. Okay. Cool. All right, so there we go. Now if I go ahead and refresh this over here, we'll see that GitCAD's installed, and we have the installation instruction for the GitCAD procedures for other people trying to clone this repository. So I'm just going to go over those procedures now. So I'm going to actually use WSL to clone this repository. I have WSL located right here. So I'm just going to go ahead and get the SSH link, copy this, and we're going to do git clone this. So this is going to kind of also demo what this is like working from, not my Windows desktop, my WSL desktop is what I want to clone to. So git clone, and we're going to clone this. Cool. There you go. Now I can go code and project Kate to open up VS Code in there. Okay. So step one is obviously still setting up FreeCAD to not overwrite read-only files when you make a save or change. I'm actually going to go explorer.exe into here so you can just see over here. So this is my desktop on my WSL instance. And I've installed FreeCAD into this folder called My Installs FreeCAD over here. When you install FreeCAD from the website, do I have that in here? I don't. Just gonna search FreeCAD. Go here, should have clicked on download. And you download the app image. It is literally a .app image. And I'll just cut to when this is done. Cool. Okay. With that installed, this is probably going to be another long operation. I'm actually going to go ahead and move it over into, let's just create a temp folder because I'm technically just reinstalling FreeCAD a second time on my Linux instance. Okay, cool. That's pretty quick. So copying, not deleting or moving. Okay. Cool. Okay. There you go. So with FreeCAD in my Linux instance again, I'm going to go ahead and actually just remove all this except for the last part, FreeCAD. Cool. Okay, so when you install FreeCAD as an app image, you'll probably add it to your path. The problem is that with GitCAD to work, you need to actually have access to the directory inside this app image. And so the process for working with that is you're going to actually want to cd into, let's just go to temp. So we have the app image. there's an identifier file over here. We're just going to delete that. Cool. So we have this FreeCAD app image. What you actually have to do is you have to go ahead and extract the app image like this. And then it's going to take fucking forever. Sorry, you have to go do this with pseudo perms, I guess. Oh, I'm dumb. I totally forgot. Okay, right. Yeah, so you're gonna have to go. There we go. Make it executable, and now you can go ahead and do that, and then you go ahead and app image extract. Cool. I should have done it with pseudo perms. Oh well. Anyways. Cool, it actually did it quickly. So now if I refresh this, you'll see that there's now this new folder, squashfs root, and that inside this user folder, this is where all the FreeCAD data is stuff. And if you go to bin over here, you'll actually see there's FreeCAD and there's Python. So those are the actual FreeCAD files that you want to configure in your thing. So what I did basically, all that is to say, I'm actually just going to delete this temp folder because I don't need it anymore. Is that I created a, I did the same thing. I deleted the app image folder after I extracted it. But I extracted it, made that squashfs thing, and then I renamed it to FreeCAD. And in here, we have the same thing that we're familiar with. So this is basically where my FreeCAD is installed on my Linux system. So now that I have gone ahead and cloned the repository, I can go ahead and continue with the instructions over here. Clone the repository, run the initialization script. So FreeCAD, user scripts, initialize. We're going to have to actually make that executable. So plus X, FreeCAD, user scripts, init repo, make it executable. Run the script. It will make everything else. Yeah, there you go. All bash scripts made executable, given ownership to all files. So there's that done. Let me go ahead and full screen this so that, or put it over here. And let's just move that over. Cool. So there we go. So now it's created this config file and the same thing as usual. So you go in here, go to the config file, and this part needs to be updated to match it. So what we want to do is my installs FreeCAD user bin ls and then do present working directory. So we want this path over here, and if you do ls, you'll see that there is a Python file over here. So bin/Python, right? And that matches, I believe, just for a quick sanity check, what I have over here. Yeah, user bin, yeah, same thing. Cool. There we go. All right. So yeah, so there you go. So now you have the Python path specified, and we can go ahead and run the initialization script once again. And it's going to go and verify and confirm everything is working as intended. You're going to go ahead and install all the Git hooks. And this part, you're going to want to click yes for. So now we're basically saying, cool, Okay, well, actually, let's just show this more clearly. If I go over here, and there is a skeletons over here, you see we have a FreeCAD file, but it has 0 bytes of data in here, right? Because the uncompressed data in here still needs to be imported into this FreeCAD file over here. So for new users, they're going to want to click yes over here, because they are going to, this basically starts the process of going through and looking for every single FreeCAD file that you have on your, in this repository, and go and import the uncompressed data. So I'm going to just click yes to it, and it's going to go and import it, and then give me a success over here, ignoring that issue over there. So now if I do ls-l there, we'll see that this shell file actually now has data behind it. So I can actually go ahead and xdg-open skeletons shell. And it's probably not worth it to wait for this whole thing to load up. But yeah, point is now I can actually open up the file, and it's not going to be, because otherwise over here it would just throw an error because there's literally no data inside this file. If I try to open it up with FreeCAD, it would say it just doesn't work. It cannot open it up. But yeah, so there we go. Is there anything else I'm missing? So configure the path, run the initialization script one more time, and yeah. And then press Y, as it says over here. And there you go. See, the data is behind it. So it exists now. So cool. Something else to notice, to mention, and then go ahead and skip. Right. Okay. Probably should have just said an RM. Whatever. Anyways, so now I'm going to go ahead and source. And oh, right. Yeah, so these modifications, all this modification, these are just saying that, like, because we, at the start of the initialization script, kind of like how it does for Windows, it goes ahead and makes sure that you have ownership over all the files and it's not sudo, just in case you cloned with sudo for some reason. And also it makes sure to set these permissions on every file inside of the FreeCAD automation file, all like the scripts inside the FreeCAD automation file. So this is basically saying all these modifications over here are basically saying you set the executable permissions for all these shell files. Let's do git add. User doesn't have lock. That's what the error is coming from. Right. So yeah, all these changes over here are basically saying added executable permissions. This is just a Linux type thing, not really a Windows thing. So you technically just do git commit. All right, now I didn't actually make any changes to this file, so I'm just going to go and do a git fcmod star.fcstd git status, okay, to clear that modification. All this is doing is yeah, that's something for another video, but yeah. Yeah, there you go. So that's everything done. I can just go ahead and push this. And yeah, and on Windows, I can pull that change over. It's literally technically a whole nothing thing because nothing really changed from Windows perspective. Like you see, there's 0 bits of data changed across all these files. It's just a Linux only thing that GitHub does to basically say that the the exec perms for these have been set. So yeah. Anyways, cool. So that's it. See ya.